Welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have America's Book of Secrets Special Edition. I'm not really sure what the difference is between this and the non-special edition. There is a regular series, from what I can tell. It's 43 episodes, went from 2012 to 2021. This one is from 2020, so I guess they overlapped a little bit. But yeah, this it has something like, I don't know how many seasons. One season, 9 episodes. And they each run about an hour and a half, like an hour 23, hour 24, things like that. Yeah, what do you think this is about? This is sort of a conspiracy theory type of a series. It doesn't go deep into the rabbit hole where it's all just cannibal Satan worshiper things and all that kind of stuff. It goes as far as taking real world events and going, was this planned by certain people? Or certain people connected? It's Watergate. It's Iran-Contra. It's all the way back to the assassination of Lincoln. It looks at assassinations. It looks at the Secret Service. It looks at different just different aspects of what it takes to protect the highest office and the most important, politically most important buildings in the United States, including the White House and the Capitol and things like that, but mainly the White House. Since this was made in 2020, yeah, it does brush up against the more recent, well, not very recent, but it does include our most recent president, at least his 45 version. So, it talks about conspiracies, it talks about misdirection, it talks about presidential cover-ups, but it doesn't get as far as current events, let's just say. You'll recognize, if you're involved in any kind of politics or history or talking head type stuff, you might recognize a few people, some who have been in the most recent administration and have gone since. Yeah. Some people that were there when Reagan was shot. So there was people that just that have insights, and they're talking about Kennedy, and there's a whole section, because it's an hour and 23 minutes or so, there's a whole section that is just about assassinations, attempted assassinations. It has a sort of a breakdown for people who didn't necessarily grow up with all this kind of stuff. And I'm afraid to keep saying that word for fear that it's gonna get me flagged for some reason. But yeah, no, it talks about history. It talks about how those events changed the way way our government works, the Secret Service, and how we protect the presidents and everything else comes into play. So it is interesting from that kind of angle. It also talks about so many of the scandals and questions whether, of course, the Watergate with Nixon and saying, hey, well, he denied everything, but there's tapes, and there's so much more in those tapes than just the thing that would have got him impeached if he hadn't resigned. There's stuff that this does describe the Iran-Contra thing. I was young-ish, and I wasn't really into politics at all at the time. So it explained the whole relationship in a really basic way on how the Iran-Contra deal worked. And who might have been involved, who might not have been involved, who might have done their greatest acting of their career, maybe not. So there's there's so much stuff about the Bushes. Yes, we get to see all the way up to Obama. We don't see anything from Joe, and we see shots, film, like clips and stuff of 45, but not all the way up to 47. Obviously, it's 2020. So, 2020, it would have still. It wouldn't have even been Joe yet. So, yeah, it's funny to look at some of these people that are talking and see the positions they've held since. And yeah, I don't want to get too specific, and I'm not going to try to be too political, but let's just say this America's Book of Secrets special edition needs a special edition, probably. After the next few years, I say, put out one. And they might have an entire season about one president. We'll see. I really don't. Again, you're going to have to be a history buff or a person who wants to learn history. It's important, but it's not trying to be a history thing. It does sort of throw out, well, what if that person did know this, or was it really this person who knew this and maybe made this happen? So, yeah, it gets a little wishy-washy. It does state the facts of the things that happened in our history, and you kind of get to see patterns if you're really into it, but just calm yourself. Just take it for what it is. And, I mean, yeah, I got in my head, too. I was just like, what if it was? And that does connect to this country and that government and the things that are happening back then. How does is that connected to what's happening now? Did certain people get inspired by other people to do certain things because they knew they could get away with it? Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be a person who's into politics, who's into security kind of things. Like, again, it is fascinating. While they don't give away all the secrets, obviously, a lot of this it's about America's Book of Secrets, as if there's a single volume of one place where you can go and find out every single secret that ever existed. Oh, what did they do during World War II? And what about the aliens? And there's no aliens in the first episode. I only watched the first episode. So out of the 9 or so, they have White House secrets and scandals. That's what I saw. It's for an hour and 25 minutes, 23 minutes. It was pretty comprehensive, even though they just sort of didn't do a deep dive in everything. They just sort of skimmed over the top and said, well, these are the high points or low points of each of these big scandals. Top secret operations. Wait, I just noticed. Ooh, a conspiracy. Episode 2 is missing. I wondered what was in episode 2. Top secret operations, the power of money, crimes and punishments, the strange and the bizarre. I bet you that's where the aliens come in. Home Sweet Fortress, about the big mansions and such. The certain people have. Hiding in plain sight. Big Brother is watching. And A World Gone Mad. Cults, drugs, and criminal organizations. Ooh, that sounds currently relevant. Let's just say, I bet you watch together. This touches on a whole lot of things, but doesn't tell you anything. At least, the truth behind the truth. The truth behind the facts. It shares what we know, supposes what we don't, and probably never gets close to just how really messed up the American government is, and just America. So, I really want to let you enjoy this for a really long time, hearing me babble about it. But I think we're done. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 30. All right. 30. Okay. Is this a reality? No, I don't think so. It's a series. I think it's another docu-series again. Its name might be deceptive, as making you think it has to do with comic book superheroes. It does not. I'm pretty sure of it. This one's called Dark Marvels. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. So yeah, we're going to watch Dark Marvels tomorrow on the next Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.